Are we up, you guys? Yeah? Good morning. Living, loving, spirit. Living, loving, spirit. We are the force of love. We are living, loving, spirit. This is our day. We have gathered to pray and give thanks to the living, loving spirit. Come as you may, we are loved in this place where we give thanks to the living, loving spirit. Living, loving spirit. Ooh, living, loving spirit. We are the force of love. We are living, loving spirit. Bring joyful song and carry along your praise to the living, loving spirit. Come as you may, we're loved in this place. Give thanks to the living, loving spirit. Living, loving spirit. Ooh, loving spirit. We are the force of love. We are living, loving spirit. Loving spirits, you and me now we're living, we're loving spirit. Yes, it's our birthright to be a loving spirit, and we are the force of love. We are living, loving, living, loving, we are living and loving spirit, spirit. Ooh.
Good morning, Unity on Greenville. And thank you for that beautiful music. You are living, loving spirit right here and right now, moving in the world as love. I'm Reverend Karen, and I am privileged and honored to be your minister at Unity on Greenville, where we practice a positive path for spiritual living. And today we greet one another with a namaste, namaskar spirit, that my soul honors your soul. I honor that place in you where the entirety of the universe resides. I honor the light, the love, the truth, the beauty, and all of the messiness that's in you. And as I acknowledge that in you, I affirm that that is also in me, because we are one. We are united. We are inseparable as humanity. So namaste. My soul honors your soul. I'm going to invite you all, whether you're at home, virtually checking in, or here in the sanctuary, you lovely faces, to invite you to join us next Sunday immediately after the service for a community conversation. And if you're virtual, just stay tuned. We won't disconnect. We'll just move right into community conversation. And if you're here in the sanctuary, just stick around and we'll share some time together. That's next Sunday, immediately after the service. There's someone on our staff that's been here for months. And yet, because of COVID, you haven't been able to meet her. So today we're going to put an end to that. And today I'm going to introduce to you Arwen Earl, who is our Youth and Family Director. And Arwen comes with this amazing background that's so diverse and so connected to the well-being of youth. And she has years of experience that go far beyond her age. So I want to take a minute and allow Arwen to say a few things about herself and her vision, and her son Sean, who is her trusty assistant, and what she envisions for our youth. So Arwen, please come on up.
Thank you, Karen. It's really nice to be here in person, to see you guys. I've been doing this for maybe 5-6 months or something online. So it's at 10 a.m. If you don't know, for any youth who would like to, I'm there with my son.
Hello.
So this is Sean, and so we're there at 10 a.m. to 10:30 every Sunday on Zoom, leading a lesson. We like to engage the youth to learn about their Christ spirit and to celebrate the Christ spirit in all of us. And today it's nice to celebrate with you guys. That's one thing I want to tell you. The second thing is that we are creating a creative wall in our youth department. So if you have any youth self-expressions of poems or art, please send a 3x5 picture. You could mail it to the church, or if you only have a digital copy, you could email it to Karen, and then we can put it on the wall with our other youth. And there was one more thing I wanted to say. Did you have anything you want to say? No. The 17-year-olds don't want to get at the mic. Also, I'm going to be up here at the front. If you have any questions about curriculum, I like to use the 12 Powers. I like to use the Harry Potter curriculum. So if you have any questions about anything at all, Sean and I will be up here to answer questions. And thank you.
Thank you both so much for being here. Thank you for lending your energy and your unity background to our youth. It's great to have someone who guides our youth forward. And we're going to share our youth affirmation later. So if we have not connected virtually, if we've not said hello to one another, please visit the website. You can find a connection card under resources, under Sundays, and under About Us. We are a community that cares about each other in deep and honoring ways. So please let us know about you and let us connect with you. While you're at the website, we invite you to share of your tithes and offerings. You can do that on the donate button, or you can feel very comfortable sending a check to the address that's on the screen. Either way, we're extremely grateful for your tithes and offerings. We know that the divine is our source, and you are the avenue for that source to flow to Unity on Greenville. So having said that, let's share our offering blessing for the offerings that we have already received and those that are on their way. So together we say, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. With gratitude, we commit to using our gifts for good. Amen. Prayer is a cornerstone of unity. Our spiritual care team is standing by, waiting and ready with open hearts to pray with you. So while you're at that website, also click the prayer tab and let us know what's on your heart. What's on your heart that we might pray with you, and your gratitude so we can celebrate with you as well.
Good morning, Unity on Greenville. My name is Sandra Dela Cruz, and I am your prayer chaplain this morning. If you would like to request a specific prayer after the service, I will be in the back of the sanctuary to pray with you. So let us prepare for prayer. Please find a comfortable way to sit. Relax your shoulders. Slow your breath. And let us open our hearts to receive this prayer. Father God, the source of all that is love, all that is good, please accept this prayer, knowing that we are so grateful. We are so grateful for so many things. We are grateful for our hearts that are full of love. We are grateful for the friends that we have. We are grateful for our family. We are grateful for the joy that is ours every day. We are grateful for the choices that we make to make our lives joyful and happy. We are grateful for the beauty that we see that surrounds us. We only need to open our hearts. We are also grateful for the love in our hearts, especially today. Let us open our hearts and our spirits and project love to all of those, the Haitian refugees that are in Del Rio. Let us send them love today. Let us also send love and prayer to all of those who may have COVID in their families, COVID in their homes. Let us send love and joy to all of those who are here today, knowing that we accept your prayer requests with open hearts and gratitude, and that we offer our prayer knowing that what you have requested has already begun. And with this prayer, let us know that we love ourselves, that we love our God, and that we love our hearts. And so it is. Amen.
And we pause to allow the sound of the singing bowl to carry us into a time of meditation and contemplation. And we hear these words from Matthew 17. For truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain to move from here to there, and the mountain will move. Nothing shall be impossible for you. as we allow those words to descend upon our heart and into our mind, we allow ourselves to envision that grain of mustard seed, the minuscule size of the mustard seed. Yet we know that's all the faith we need to move the mountains of our life. So we affirm for ourselves, I have a mustard seed and I'm not afraid to use it. Nothing shall be impossible. So we dream our dreams, and we dream them big and loud and proud and out loud. For we have a mustard seed, and we're not afraid to use it. Nothing shall be impossible. So in our mind's eye, we imagine that field of infinite possibility, the edges of which we cannot come close to touching. We allow our imagination to soar through that field, knowing that all that we desire is possible. For we have a mustard seed, and we're not afraid to use it. Nothing shall be impossible. So we envision a world that lives in harmony, countries one with another, living peacefully, knowing and understanding that all the land is God's land. We are merely borrowing it. So we share the resources of Mother Earth. We honor the beauty and respect Father Sky. We imagine the people of all lands living in a conscious awareness of their divine nature as they practice their faith, as they love whom they love, as they walk through their day. For we have a mustard seed, and we're not afraid to use it. Nothing shall be impossible. So we imagine all people of the world sharing the unlimited abundance of all that exists. We share generously with one another. We share with the animal kingdom and nurture the plant kingdom, that all of creation shares in the beauty and the grace of the earth. Nothing shall be impossible. So we affirm here and now that we have a mustard seed and we are not afraid to use it. So we step into the world courageously with love, with joy, with harmony, with honor and respect one for another. And we plant that mustard seed deep in our soul so that we can live a life where nothing is impossible. So say it aloud and say it proud. I have a mustard seed and I'm not afraid to use it. With me, I have a mustard seed and I'm not afraid to use it. It is so we allow it to be. Namaste.
When Jesus walked with the multitude, he spread peace, joy, and love. When he performed his miracles, power came down from above. The lame would walk, the dead would rise, even the blind could see. Then he told his followers, you can do greater than these, greater things than these, if you will only believe. If you have faith like a mustard seed, you can do greater than these. When Jesus taught by the seashore, people would come from the town. He performed more miracles while the people gathered round. With just 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, he fed 5,000 with ease. Then he calmed and walked on the sea, saying, you can do greater than these, greater things than these, if you will only believe. If you have faith like a mustard seed, you can do greater than these. If you have faith like a mustard seed, you can do greater than these.
You may or may not recognize that voice of James Gatlin, long-time Unity congregant. I visited him and his dear wife, Linda, and he shared that with me, and I thought it was perfect. Yes, just perfect. So welcome to our fall book study, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, a guide to living life in the divine flow. So far, we have learned that the boat is us, our physical form, that is body, mind, and spirit. And that stream is the divine flow, that flow that leads us, guides us, directs us, informs us, inspires us. And today, we dig into the row, row, row. So Steve shares the idea that we have oars that we use to propel ourselves in one direction or another, and those oars represent our free will. So I want to pause for a moment to talk a little bit about will. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore says that will is our innate ability in life that draws us always forward to the completion of what we have determined to be our goal. That's our will. It's our intention coming into manifestation. And it does it with active participation from us. Nothing happens if we don't move, if we don't put feet to our faith, action to our lives, and carry ourselves forward. And we may have set our intention for the day, and when we focus our will, we notice that serendipitous things happen. If there's people that we need to see, oh, they're at the other end of the phone. They've called us. We see them at the grocery store or wherever. We use our power of will to set that intention and to notice when everything shows up. But sometimes we in our human condition can overuse our will and become willful. We see that in toddlers who want a toy at the store and mom or dad has to say no or chooses to say no. We see the willfulness of the desire for that toy. I apologize to you, Sean, in advance, but we see that in our teenagers as not in you, I'm certain, but we see that as teenagers are doing what teenagers are supposed to do and find themselves, to find their own identity that is separate from family, separate from mother and father and siblings. But sometimes it looks pretty willful. And we see that in adults who must have their own way, whether it's choosing a movie, a restaurant, or how the project goes at work. We see that. And if we're really courageous and if we're really being honest, we see that willfulness in ourselves. It's just that we haven't tempered that gift of will that is so useful in carrying us forward. We see that willfulness in those moments when we're living outside of the divine flow, when we're not pausing to hear that still small voice, when we're trudging on towards our goal, leaving people in our wake, just doing it our way without consideration of others. When we allow our thinking to go unchecked, to go unnoticed, to go untended. We might notice a thought that's not productive, but we just let it go anyway. So unity teachings remind us that misuse of our free will is the cause of our suffering. It's what causes us to be in pain. So how do we use our free will? Because it's not giving up, and how free is our free will? Giving up peace of mind for chaos, giving up harmony for turmoil, giving up tranquility for suffering. When we overuse our will, we give up those precious commodities in life for probably what we don't want. The suffering, the chaos, the turmoil, the things that we probably don't want in our life. So it seems to me it's a very high price to pay for willfulness. We get to choose how we use our will. And as we row, we are constantly making choices every moment of the day. Just think of the choices that you've made this morning since you've opened your eyes. You've made many, many choices. And it's always a compromise, one thing for another. Now, I'm a kayaker. So if I choose to go out in the ocean towards the dolphins, I might miss the sea turtles close to the shore. And if I choose the sea turtles, then likelihood I'm going to miss the dolphins. If I choose in my travels to go west, I'm going to miss the adventures of east, and vice versa. It's a choice. So we make our choice and we go forward. Because there's another day to kayak or travel, and I might see dolphins on another day, or I might see sea turtles. It's one or the other. One is better than the other. They are all of great value. So we make our choice without lament, and we go in the direction of our choices, knowing that there are outcomes. There is cause and effect for every choice. There are consequences for every choice. And by consequences, it might mean we have a great experience. A consequence isn't a negative experience as we often think it is. So we might choose even to use our free will to go against the flow. This is my paddle. The first thing I want to share is that I have a tether on my paddle, and you only have to lose your paddle once. Because then you know the importance of exercising your will when you don't have will. When you've given up your will to the whims of another. So I have a tether. And my paddle is very light. It's very easy. I can hold it with a finger or two. And when I paddle against the current, I'm working really, really hard. Oh my gosh, 10 minutes of paddling against the current, I'm exhausted. I'm worn out. And anyone who does any paddling knows that to be true. Sometimes I paddle just to keep from going backwards. So we have to use our will to keep us going forward. And when I choose to go with the current, it's an easy breezy. My paddle sits effortlessly just to keep me on the straight and narrow. It's effortless. It's easy. I can sit back, I can relax, I can enjoy the flight of the eagle overhead. I can enjoy the flowers that I see on the shore, the occasional alligator when kayaking in Florida. It's a beautiful experience. And so it is when we live in the flow of life, when we choose to go with the stream. Life can be easy breezy. And it is not meaning that nothing unfortunate happens. Because even in an easy breezy life flow, always in the divine flow, life happens. Stuff happens. And here we are to deal with it. But when I'm living in the flow, when I'm consciously listening to that still small voice, when I have planted that seed, that mustard seed of faith, I know that while an experience might feel unfortunate today, I know that there is purpose in it. I know that this experience will grow me. It'll grow my relationship with the divine much more deeply, more richly. I know that I will become more intimate with my true self. I will see myself in new ways. I know that I develop a greater awareness of spiritual strength and the power of that to call that into action. And I'll see my resilience. I keep building on that resilience. I will also build greater evidence of the joy, of the peace, of the harmony that is in life when we live in that divine flow. It's a living example of trust, of trusting the divine. Steve, the author of Row Your Boat, poses several questions in this chapter. I think they're fabulous questions. And the first one is, do you really want to go where you say you want to go? I don't know about you, but when I was a freshman in high school, I had no clue where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I just wanted to grab my bike and go out into the woods after school or on the weekend. What I wanted to do with the rest of my life? No clue. But my guidance counselor said, well, until you decide, you'll be in my office every day until you are on the college prep track. So I said, okay, well, let's do it. Let's get me on the college prep track. So our will has to be ours. It can't be somebody else's. My parents had aspirations for me. They're sorely disappointed until now. They've had aspirations for my sisters. They might be disappointed. Our will and how we live has to be our own. It can't be somebody else's will for us. And big secret, nobody else knows your path. That's your path, your divine path. Only you can know it. And that path is revealed moment by moment through all of our lives. As a teen, as a young adult with families, as an elder, that path continues to be revealed. Sometimes we might be enticed into the direction of the bling and the baubles and the bigness of the world. Ever get sidetracked by the ways of the world? We might only find that our heart really wants tranquility and quiet and peace, away from the world. We might find ourselves moving in a direction that is not congruent with our inner life. If we live a life that's contemplative and quiet and introspective, we might not make it as a disc jockey in a nightclub on Friday and Saturday night. So our direction of our will has to be in harmony with who and what we really are. And sometimes we take the safe and easy path when we know our heart's desire is to go big or go home. And we have to listen to that. We have to use our will to guide us there. And one of the first tasks to live life in that divine flow is to get real and to get honest with ourselves, with this human self, to acknowledge the desires of the human, and with our divine self, to acknowledge the desires of spirit that wishes to express as us, as uniquely as us, so that our inside is always in harmony with our outside, so that we can live in that peace, so that we can live the vitality of who we are. And the second question Steve asks is, are we paying attention to what's going on around us? Do we see the signs, even if it's a big billboard like Steve saw in his story, giving us information? Do we attune to the signs that are in the world? Or do we simply walk on by those guideposts that assure us that we're making progress in the right direction? Do we see them? Do we carry them with us? Do we move towards the next assurance that we're moving in the right direction? The universe is always informing us. It's always sharing with us, and it's always directing us with that thought that suddenly pops into your mind, seemingly out of nowhere. Take that as a message from the universe. Take that as a cue that you're on track, or maybe you need to veer left or right. Take it as a message. That still small voice. With practice, we can hear it when it's still and small rather than when it's booming and shouting. That still small voice tells us. It might come as an image that appears. Pay attention. It might be a sensation that we get, a little vibration inside of us, assuring us, yes, we're right. People show up in our lives seemingly out of nowhere. We've all had that happen. Those are sure signs that we're on the right track. Someone might suggest a book or a musician or a piece of art for us to see and enjoy. That is a clear and present message. We're on the right track. The resources that we need are made available to us before we even ask. This happened yesterday. I received a package from AT&T, who is my provider. And in the package was a cell phone. I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't order a cell phone. Where did this come from? So I immediately called AT&T. And their information says that my current cell phone is a 3G, which will no longer work on a specific date. And so they sent me a complimentary phone, not an iPhone, but a really swell phone, to replace it. And I thought, well, I don't need a phone. My phone isn't 3G. So I took the cover off of my current cell phone, and this is what the back looks like. There are thousands of little cracks and little chunks of phone missing. So I need a cell phone. And I didn't even know it. I took the back off to see if this was a 3G phone, and this is what I found. Evidence that I need a cell phone. So the universe provides even before I knew I had a need. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to let me keep the phone. They're going to let me use it. I needed a cell phone. I guess I dropped it one too many times. I was always so relieved that the screen didn't crack. But meanwhile, the back side of the phone is crumbling. The universe provides what we need as we need it, sometimes before we even know it. The serendipity of the universe. I literally got a free cell phone. So pay attention to what's going on around us. I made an attempt to send the cell phone back. They didn't want it. They knew I needed a cell phone. Somebody knew I needed it. So the third question is, are you paying attention to what's going on within you? Before the days of self-help books, advice columns, like radio call-in shows, before the days of Dear Abby, remember Dear Abby? And before Dr. Phil, long ago. Way back to the days of the desert fathers and the desert mothers. They left the communities to go into the wilderness to know what was going on within them. We have that inner wisdom that will never ever lead us astray. We have that inner guidance that is always working to carry us to our highest good. We have that in us that was willing to show us our way. We merely need to be present to it. We merely need to step away from the noise of 24-hour talk radio and television, and there's social media platforms that I don't even know about. But we need to step away from that constant stimulation to go within, to find what's moving inside of us. We will be amazed at the beauty and depth of spirit that resides right inside us, always there, waiting, ready to be expressed in our world. That's what's moving inside of us when we step away and go within. It might mean just sitting in a Chase lounge in your backyard. It might mean going off to a monastery for a month or 2 or a year. It might mean sitting in the sanctuary. It might mean a moment of quiet reflection before you put your feet on the floor in the morning. But that's where the world moves inside of us. The divine moves as us. Sometimes we become afraid of what we might find when we go inside. But there is beauty. There is faith. There is truth inside of us. When we go inside, we get to find out who we really are. We get to find out who we are to be in the world. But the fear stops us. Know what our feelings are. In a moment where we feel fear, it's important to recognize that. Is that fear keeping us from impending danger? Is that fear merely our ego telling us that we're not enough? Telling us we can't accomplish? Telling us, why bother? Telling us, oh, nobody needs that. So discerning what that fear is about so that we can move forward, so that we can be brave, so that we can live from within outward. And the fourth question is, are you willing to let go of what you think you know? The day came when I realized I don't know very much. I don't know very much. And on that same day, I realized there's a whole lot of things I believe. So to discern what you know to be true versus what you believe. And I would like to add a question to that. Are you willing to give up what you believe today for a greater truth for tomorrow? Are you willing to change what you believe? So our wisdom and our beliefs are informed by family. Generations of family have informed us of who we are. Sometimes it's not quite so accurate, even though it's shared in loving, kind, and generous ways. Society, our community has informed us. Our institutions have informed us. Our schools, our churches, our government has informed us of a lot of who we are and what to believe. And so I say that even free thinkers may not be thinking so freely with all of that being fed. So willingness to let go of our attachment to what we believe in this moment, to allow our minds to be fertile ground for a new thought, a new belief, a new wisdom, or a new truth. And the final question is, do we even know what effortless looks like? When we say that when we're in that flow of life, life is effortless. So do we even know what effortless means? Has anyone ever heard the saying, life is tough and then you die? There's some laughs. Yes, people used to say that. Life is really tough and then you die. It's not very uplifting. It's not very optimistic. And it's a perspective that is really downtrodden. And life can be effortless in living from that inner guidance and following that divine flow. Remembering that when we do, we know that challenges are part of life, just as joy is part of life. And we can carry ourselves with our free will, with our oars. We can paddle ourselves to our highest good. It's important to recognize in those moments of challenging that we are always on a path to our highest good. We might face storms. Being out on the ocean in a vulnerable little kayak and a storm comes up, it can be pretty intimidating, overwhelming, and downright scary. There's a lot of energy that goes into that. And yet, in the quiet waters, paddling is effortless and easy, just as life can be. Those times that we can sit back and savor the goodness and the abundance that is all around us, that is all within us in this life. So you know how it goes. The left hand over your right arm, right hand over your left arm, and give yourself a big old squeeze. You have been loved and hugged by me. Namaste.
It's so easy to get started. We've all done it time after time. Pretty soon things cause us to get downhearted when it's not in our time. But hold on to your vision. Take the steps and lead the way. Yeah. Let's manifest our mission, even if it's not today. Yeah, I want you to keep the faith, keep the fire burning, keep the faith, keep the axle turning. Keep the dream alive inside your heart. Keep on walking that road, but don't you ever turn around. Keep on walking until you finally reach your highest ground. And I want you to keep the faith. Keep the faith. Every life here has a purpose. The universe is vast and wide. Life can seem like a three-ring circus, but you gotta keep up your stride. Oh, till you're burning with desire, till you're pushing through the doubt. Push on. Oh, we're gonna stretch a little higher. We might need to take a different route. And I want you to keep the faith. Yeah, keep the fire burning. Keep the faith, y'all. Keep the axle turning. Keep the dream alive inside your heart. Keep walking that road, but don't you ever turn around. Keep walking until you finally reach your highest ground. And I want you to keep the faith, keep the fire burning, keep the faith, keep the axle turning, and keep the dream alive inside your heart. Keep walking that road, but don't you ever turn around. Keep walking until you finally reach the highest ground. And I want you to keep the faith, keep the faith.
We at Unity on Greenville have a vision, so share this vision aloud with me. We see a world where every being lives in awareness of their sacred oneness and divine light. We also hold an affirmation for our youth and family. We as Unity on Greenville claim the truth for our youth. Say it with me. We teach principles to empower each child and teen to fulfill their divine potential. Through fellowship, love, prayer, and meditation, they connect with God, each other, and their world. Amen. And the daily word for today, September 19th, 2021. The word is free. The affirmation is, living from my divine nature frees me. Sometimes I feel limited when I don't think I have enough time, money, space, education, or experience. These thoughts can occupy so much space in my mind that I begin to think limitation is the truth of life. The greater truth is that I am free and unlimited in spirit. Alive in God, I am free to express all the love, all the wisdom, the strength of the divine as only I can. What joy and liberation it is to know that nothing can separate me from my true spiritual nature. If I believe any circumstance in my life or any of my past actions obstruct or delay my spiritual growth, I now release that belief. Embracing and living from the divine presence, the Christ within me, I claim freedom from all limitations. Acts 17, verse 28 says, "In him we live and move and have our being." Living from my divine nature frees me. Rachel, take us home.
Yes, there is peace on earth. I know it begins in me. Yes, there is peace on earth. The peace that was meant to be. With God, our Creator, united all. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, there is peace on earth, for this is the moment now. With every step I take, this my joyous vow. I take each moment, I live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth. I know it begins in me.
And as you go out to the world for this week, remember to row, row, row in the direction of your highest good. Let's share our prayer for protection with the world. Together we say, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen.
Love will never leave
Thank you
you,
for being here with us.
and friends for life are standing by and sending prayers. We're thinking about you now, smiling in the light as the darkness you leave behind. There's a circle of songs, a circle of songs, circle of songs, where you belong. Joyful, this tune plays an endless melody.
Hi, Josie. How are you?
Joyful, your
love the
tune
red button.
plays an endless melody.
Oh my gosh.
Joyful, your tune plays an endless melody. There's a circle of songs, circle of songs.